it filled Vrindavan. And it entered into the ears of the gopis and then went right to the core of their hearts and literally plundered them. What does that mean? That means there was only one purpose in their existence: to please Krishna. They had absolutely no personal self-interest, no selfishness. They didn't care about enjoying with Krishna. They just wanted to give pleasure to Krishna. And that desire to please Krishna burned so intensely within the very core of their hearts. They left their homes, they left their families, they left all safety, they left their reputations, everything for Krishna. And they ran into the forest. Lord Chaitanya taught us, this is what sannyas is. With no selfish trace within our heart. To beckon Krishna's call. To be willing to leave everything and anything to please Krishna. That's what gopis did. And that was actually the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taking sannyas. Because he was in the mood of Srimati Radharani, a devotee, the greatest of devotees. And as a devotee, following in the footsteps of the supreme of the gopis, everything for Krishna. Such risk, such sacrifice. If we put the two together, what pleases Krishna most? We were discussing this last night. To show compassion to the conditioned souls. His heart was absolutely burning to please Krishna without any selfish motivation by giving compassion to the conditioned souls. By spreading the glories of the holy names of the Lord. It was on Makara Sankranti, January 14th, which is coming up next month, 500 years ago, that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left the most beautiful goddess of fortune in the form of his wife, his most beloved mother, Sachi, for us. If he didn't do it, we would have had no hope or chance of receiving this love of the gopis that he was giving. Such compassion. So really, what does it mean to be a devotee? What does it mean to be, or to spread Krishna consciousness? It means to have no ulterior motives. Just to try to please Krishna. Yasya prasadad bhagavat prasada. Just to try to please our Guru. And how do we please the Guru? By pleasing the Vaishnavas and sharing this great message with others. Srila Prabhupada writes that pure devotional service is very, very rare. Krishna does not give it easy. Because when you love Krishna, Krishna personally, voluntarily becomes subordinate to your love. He becomes the prisoner in the heart of the devotee. Now, in this world, no one wants to become a prisoner. But God wants to become a prisoner within the heart of the devotees. Because that love binds him. It's like Yashoda Mai bound Krishna with the rope of her love. He's inviting all of us to take that rope of love and bind him forever within our hearts. And he's teaching us how. By being the servant of the servant. By having no ulterior motives. And therefore, pure devotional service is very rare. But Prabhupada says very simply, if one is sincere and serious, without ulterior motives, Krishna easily gives it. Just be an instrument of what is beyond you. Take no credit, and you could be empowered to do unbelievable things. Transcendental magic manifests in you and all around you. That is great joy. When we love Krishna, we love Krishna's pastimes. Yes? Krishna's pastimes are all attractive. When we have a humble heart, we see Krishna's pastimes manifesting. But when we have a false ego, we think, my pastimes are manifesting. Which is better? Krishna's pastimes are all attractive. The false ego's pastimes they are the cause of all suffering. They're the root cause of all bondage and pain, is the false ego. So why are we so concerned about our false ego's pastimes? But Krishna's pastimes are unlimitedly ecstatic. They free us from all suffering forever. Just by hearing Krishna's pastimes with a humble and sincere heart, just by chanting his holy names, even one time, we can achieve the perfection of liberation. Why? Because Krishna is so attractive. It's about Krishna. Krishna is unlimitedly, inconceivably, all-pervadingly attractive, beautiful, sweet, merciful. Krishna's attractive qualities are described to be like an ocean that has no shores and no bottom. Can you imagine? We have seen the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, but those are like little puddles of water. They have a bottom, and they have shores, so many shores. But Krishna's attractive, merciful, loving qualities are an ocean with no bottom. and no shores. That means endless, forever, ever. And not only that, imagine this. And this is not just poetic, this is for real. It's like a shoreless, bottomless ocean which is ever increasing at every moment. Ever increasing unlimitedly every moment. Now with our tiny little proud human brains, how can we fathom something like that? But that's why it's so nice, because we can't fathom it. Things that you can fathom are not very interesting. But we want to put God in our palm of our hand and say, yes, you are what I want you to be. This is the source of sectarianism. We try to limit God according to our conception or the conception of a particular scripture or a particular religion. But God's God. He's beyond all religions. He's beyond all conceptions. He's beyond all scriptures. Each scripture is just giving an indication, giving some explanation. Whatever we have is just a description of one drop from that unlimited, ever-increasing ocean. So that is why Krishna is all attractive. How we become mesmerized by something beautiful in this world. Now, according to our egos, we have different ways we become attracted to beauty. Yes. In Bombay, there are millions of rats. How many of you have seen Bombay rats? They're usually about this big. And they're about this fat. And when you see them at night just kind of creeping around, recently because it was really hot in the summer, I sleep on the floor on a little straw mat in a small room with cow dung walls. Cow dung walls makes me forget that I'm in Bombay. People are trying to put marble on their walls in Bombay and just get me some cow dung. And it's so nice. Had some multimillionaires from Beverly Hills, California, visit me, and they were saying, these walls are magnificent. They said, such color, such texture. And this person lives in the 1940s and 50s, the most famous movie actor in Hollywood, his house, right? Magnificent mansion in Beverly Hills. And they said, we want to buy some of this product to put it on our walls. Where can we get it? They were the color, the texture, the feeling, the warmth. And actually, after it dries, it really has a sweet fragrance. So they were asking where they can get it. And I said, you just go to any barn. It's cow dung. Just mix it with water. And she changed her mind. But anyways, I was laying in bed, it was about midnight, and I happened to hear ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. And I wake up and there's this rat, just about a foot away from my face. And I went like this. And he kind of went like... They're not afraid of us. There's 15 million people in Bombay, and I think there's more rats. So they're very accustomed. They're willing to just walk right over your face. It's not a problem for them. But anyways, the Bhagavad Gita explains Pandita Samadarshana, that an enlightened person sees everyone with equal vision. Sees everyone as our brother, our sister, because sees the soul in everyone's heart. And I was laying there, and this rat was sitting just kind of right next to me. And it was like a test. Am I seeing this rat as a beautiful part of God? Anyways, if you want to know if I passed or failed the test, that's another subject. But they're really, by human calculation, they're ugly as anything. Nobody wants them around. But why do you think there's so many rats? Because to another rat, but otherwise, why there's so many millions of rats? Because they can't resist each other's beauty. So beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. So we have so many infatuations and so many attractions. Rats are attracted to rats. Cockroaches. I'm not going to go into my personal experiences, but the way they move, the way she wiggles her antennas, who could resist? I'm sure among cockroaches, they have so many songs about their loving attractions to each other. And among humans, we have developed consciousness. According to our egos, we may see some people feel a car is very attractive, and they yearn to have a car, an automobile, the car of my dreams. Reading about them on their toilet seats. I'm not indicating anyone in particular. And it's so proud. You see, when they have a BMW, and they come out and they look at it, and their heart is, look at those headlights. And the shape of the car. And how I just love to put my hands on the steering wheel. The feel of the wheel. Right? It's very sensual. And some people with their furniture. They walk into their house and they see their furniture and it's very beautiful. Some people think natural landscapes, trees, beautiful. Some people think the opposite sex. Other people think the same sex. Other people, it just doesn't matter. But according to our particular conditionings, we become very, very helplessly attracted to certain situations, certain people, certain things. And we know how intense that attraction can be. It can drive us mad. Well, Krishna tells in Gita, whatever is beautiful, splendorous in this world is just a reflection of a spark of Krishna's beauty. It's not just a spark of Krishna's beauty, it's a reflection of a spark of Krishna's beauty. And if we're so hypnotized and mesmerized and infatuated by beautiful things or people in this world, the source and the complete whole of all beauty, of all attraction, that's Krishna. That's Radharani. Radharani attracts Krishna. That's her beauty. This is the spiritual world. So coming back to the point, what Krishna does, his leelas, his pastimes, is as unlimitedly as attractive as him. And Krishna's holy names, and Sri Radha's holy name, Hare, all of their beauty, all of their charm, all of their sweetness, all of their love, everything is manifested in that name. If we just have the proper consciousness to access it when we chant. So yes, we do something and people applaud. They say, yes, very good, very good. But a few days later, you don't do something so good anymore and nobody says anything. Then another day you make a mistake and people say just the opposite. But if we find our pleasure in Krishna's all attractiveness, it's unlimited, it's unending, it's wonderful. So which is better? Being satisfied with what I can do, or being satisfied with seeing Krishna perform his magic, Radharani performing her magic through us? But that can only be realized to the degree we don't have that false ego. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to give the world this gift. So simple, but the ultimate. The gift of loving Krishna. And even more than that, being able to feel and access Radha and Krishna's unlimited, inconceivable love for us. The great saints and acharyas have taught that from that ocean we were talking about, one tiny drop of that ocean can completely drown us in ecstatic love forever. That's the power of one drop. That's Krishna. So yes, religious people say God is like what I say he is. God is God. God is Krishna. God is all-encompassing, inconceivable. And ultimately, he's a person. An unlimitedly, inconceivably loving, attractive, merciful personality. That is what Krishna consciousness is. To be conscious of the all-attractive. And the gopis, they taught us the highest form of reciprocating with the all-attractive love of God through their completely selfless willingness to please God. Now, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was in South India as a sannyasi, it's very interesting. At the house of the Kurma Brahmin in Kurma Kshetra, one family man, his wife, children, they served Lord Chaitanya so much. And that person told Lord Chaitanya, I want to become a sannyasi like you. In fact, he had already decided, I'm going to leave my wife, I'm going to leave my children, I'm going to leave my occupation, I'm going to leave everything. I am coming with you starting tomorrow. And he wasn't just saying like this. Some people, they like to say things. Just like somebody came to Prabhupada, said, please, Swamiji, give me your blessings. And Prabhupada said, do you really want my blessing? The person wanted material blessings. And Prabhupada could see this. He said, please give me your blessing, give me your blessing. Prabhupada just, he was following Prabhupada everywhere he went. That's not the way you get blessings. You don't hound someone for blessings. You serve in such a way that that person is so pleased that the blessings just spontaneously pour out of their hearts toward you. That's how you receive blessings. You can't demand. So Prabhupada wanted to teach him a good lesson. He was saying, Swamiji, give me blessings, give me blessings. And Prabhupada said, all right, you come and live in our temple and stay here with me. And he said, not that kind of blessing, Swamiji, not that kind. And the man ran away and never came back. He wasn't asking for he was talking. He was talking. But this Kurma Brahmin, he was dead serious. He was ready, willing, and eager to leave everything behind and follow the Lord. And Lord Chaitanya, he said to him, never talk that way again. You stay home. Take care of your wife, take care of your children, carry on with your occupation. Just change your heart. Chant God's names. Serve God's devotees. Associate with good people. In this way, you will always be with me, and I will always be with you, and you will achieve the highest perfection. And according to the scripture, Chaitanya Charitamrita, the same message Lord Chaitanya gave to everyone in his South Indian tour. Except Gopal Bhatta Goswami. Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Lord Chaitanya said, serve your parents as long as they live, but don't get married. But serve them as long as they live, then go to Vrindavan and live with Rupa and Sanatan. Interesting. Lord Chaitanya hadn't even met Rupa and Sanatan yet, but he knows everything. So real renunciation is not about just the external form. Real renunciation is the spirit of not having ulterior motives, simply wanting to please Krishna, simply wanting to be a kind, compassionate friend, guide, servant of everyone, according to our relationship. And in this mood, to the degree we have this mood, when we hear Krishna's pastimes, when we chant Krishna's names, we are attracted by the all-attractive quality. Yoginam api sarvesham madgatena antaratmana Shadavan bhajateyo mam same yuktatamamata. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains, this is the highest, ultimate essence, perfection of all yoga, is to be totally inundated by the all-attractive, all-beautiful sweetness of God's person and to surrender to that unconditionally, forever. Lord Chaitanya left everything in the mood of the gopis to please Krishna by doing his will of giving Krishna to others. And interestingly, should I continue? You are so polite, I can't believe it. Probably tired and bored and starving, but still you say continue. So I'll continue. But I forgot what I was going to say. Huh? Huh? Everything is interesting. Anyways, interestingly, Srila Prabhupada, he was living at the place practically where Krishna's Rasa Leela took place. Yes? Krishna called the gopis to perform Rasa Leela, and they left everything to go there to please Krishna. Radha Damodar temple is right in the Rasa, in the Seva Kunj. Most intimate part of Krishna's Rasa Leela is right there. Prabhupada was living there. Not just physically, but he was seeing it, he was feeling it, he was living in it. To please Krishna, in the mood of the gopis, Prabhupada left the place of the Rasa dance to come to New York City. Srimad Bhagavatam doesn't talk about New York City. In the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, to please Krishna. in the mood of gopi. If Krishna calls you to the Ras Mandala to dance with him, then leave everything and go there. If Krishna calls you, if you're in the Ras Mandala and he says it will please me, get on a cargo ship, go across 2 oceans, 3 continents, go to New York City, live in the Bowery. That's what pleases me. That's the spirit of the gopis' love. Krishna's Vrindavan Leela is so deep, it is so profound, if we understand it in its spirit. If we think we're very advanced because we memorized the higher technicalities of rasa, then you'll get plenty of popularity and fame and everything else, but not entrance into Vrindavan. The gopis didn't think themselves qualified in any way. They just wanted to please Krishna. When we have that mood, Vrindavan's pastimes, Radha Krishna's names, the deity in the temple, they become alive. Alive in our hearts. And they attract us like nothing else. Shyam Sundar Prabhu in London was talking about he lived at George Harrison's house for about a year. And during that time, George Harrison wrote a song, Something. Have any of you ever heard that song? Sing it.
Something in the way she moves attracts me like no other lover.
Hare Krishna. I'm not going to attempt to sing it like you, but something in the way she moves attracts me like no other lover. Frank Sinatra, who happens to be from New Jersey, where we are sitting today, he said this was the greatest love song of all time. And he sang it regularly, Something. Now, his whole life was singing love songs. He said, this is the greatest love song of all time. Now, at that time, George was married to Patty Boyd, who Shyam Sundar Prabhu and I actually just met last week. And people say he was writing about her. But he never said he was writing about her. He told Shyam Sundar that this song I wrote about Krishna. But he said, I used the word she because people would start questioning my mentality if I wrote something about something about how he moves attracts me like. So he wrote she to make it more, socially acceptable. But he was talking about Krishna's all-attractive, inconceivable beauty and how Krishna was attracting his heart. Prabhupada would sometimes say, when we talk about God as great, that is a very, very deep subject. God can create and destroy universes. God could throw thunderbolts and destroy civilizations. Scriptures talk about that. But that's like the external stuff. That's pretty superficial aspects of God. The real greatness of God is the all-encompassing beauty, sweetness, and love, and how God conquers the devotees' hearts with that infinite love, and how devotees reciprocate and conquer God's heart with their love. To the degree we taste that, we want to share it with the world. It's the inherent nature of everyone. Even the Bombay rats. Wherever there's a spirit soul, wherever there's life, it's the inherent nature of the Atma, the soul, to love on that level. And we see people struggling for survival, cheating each other, rivalry with each other, trying to tear down each other for their own purposes. We see people striving to satisfy their sensual and mental desires, and they're never satisfied. We see people utilizing this most valuable human life with the most valuable time we have, which is facilitating self-realization, just striving for such empty things. And we want to share. Not an egoistic way. We're better than you, take this. It's interesting. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. I just held in my own hands one of his personal diary notebooks in his original handwriting. And also some notebooks, because Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, every time he talked, he had 1 to 3 of his disciples writing down everything, because there was no tape recorders in those days. I had notebooks of the original transcriptions as he was talking. They're in Calcutta. I was reading. They have... every page has hundreds of little holes from worms or ants that ate it, because these little notebooks are almost 100 years old. And in one of them, Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada is instructing his disciples, who I was telling you about, who were scholars of the highest order, who were renunciates of the highest order, who were charismatic leaders of the highest order. They were going to London. And he was saying, when you go there, don't think you're better than them. Consider them to be superior to you. And in humility, put straw between your teeth, which is symbolic of being very subordinating yourself. And in that spirit, offering them all respect, share this message of Lord Chaitanya with them. That's real religious preaching. Not follow me or go to hell. Not I'm your master. Prabhupada took position of master, but he felt himself the servant of all of his disciples. That's what a true guru is. Servant of all. Even if you're taking a high position and chastising and giving orders, in your heart, servant. So this was the instruction. Give them all respect. They're great people. They're Krishna's children. So in that spirit, we want to share the beauty of God, of Krishna, the beauty of Vrindavan, the beauty of the love of the Gopas and the Gopis, of Sri Radha, Yashoda, Nanda, Lalita, Vishaka, Sridama, Subala, Madhu Mangala, the love between Krishna and his cows. When Krishna plays his flute, each cow thinks he's playing only for me. And tears flow from her eyes, and her ears go up to drink the nectar of that flute. And she can't even eat grass anymore. She's so satisfied. Love is just flooding from the heart of the cow. And Krishna's feeling that love drowning his heart. And he could feel that about unlimited cows and unlimited people and unlimited peacocks and unlimited birds and unlimited trees. He can feel the overflowing love of everyone, and each of every one of them can flood his heart as he's flooding their hearts. That's the inconceivable nature of Krishna, God. We can give our attention to maybe one or two or three people, and everybody else is kind of left out. But Krishna could fully reciprocate with everything and everyone in all material and spiritual worlds. And we feel absolutely uniquely, Krishna's uniquely, personally conquered only by our love, and we feel that for him, but he can do it simultaneously for unlimited everyone. That's Vrindavan. Prabhupada did not leave Vrindavan. Prabhupada carried Vrindavan in his heart. And wherever he was, he gave everyone the opportunity to live forever in Vrindavan. How? By learning the art, the yogic art of sincerely calling out the holy name.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
What is kirtan? In its essence, it's not just a pious form of entertainment. It is that, but it's more than that. It's not just a way to feel peaceful and happy. Kirtan is the most powerful method which awakens that unlimited ecstatic love for God, for Krishna, from our hearts, and actually transports us into that land of Vrindavan, the land of pure love. That's the kirtan that Lord Chaitanya taught. Prem Sankirtan. Golokera Premadana Harinam Sankirtan. This kirtan has descended from the spiritual world to awaken that spiritual world within us and transport us there forever. Harinama, Harinam, Harinam eva kevalam. Kalera dosanide ajan asti heka mahan guna kirtanadeva krishnasya mukta sangha parambrajet. This age of Kali, there's so much quarrel and hypocrisy due to the false ego. But there's one benediction above all other benedictions, the Srimad Bhagavad tells, that simply by performing kirtan, the chanting of God's name, one can easily achieve the ultimate perfection of liberation, which is the awakening of that flow of divine grace from our hearts. And when a drop of love of Krishna is tasted within us, there's a love for every living being who is part of Krishna that is practically uncontrollable. Some of us have experience of how uncontrollable lust can be to satisfy our sensual desires. But really, what's there? It's something so limited and so temporary. Can you imagine how uncontrollable, pure, ecstatic love is? That was Nityananda Prabhu. That was Srila Prabhupada. That was the great saints. That's what, in our own little ways, we could all be like that. To show compassion to other living beings is an uncontrollable flow that pours from our heart when we taste even a drop of love for Krishna. Is there anything that's more needed in the world than that? When Prabhupada moved into 26 Second Avenue, there was a sign from the previous owner of the store on tops that said matchless gifts, because it was a gift store. And Prabhupada kept that sign there as if it was prophetic. He wanted to share this matchless gift through the chanting of Krishna's holy name. Thank you very much. What is the time? Huh? 5:22. Should we have kirtan? Sure? Is there any time, any particular time we have to leave this place?
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.